Guys, want to know how I set up my perfect bike? Today we're going to jump into how I set up my 21 Road King Special, and stay tuned. All right, guys, so the first thing I want to do is jump into why I chose the Road King. Before this, guys, everything I had was Dynas. Love them. Been across the country on one of them at least a few times. Never had any issues. But while I was still in the service, I started having some back problems, and it just was making it harder to ride on a Dyna and have it as stiff as I had it. And so I did start looking at touring models, and I was like, am I old enough to do this yet? But honestly, I knew that it was gonna be a transition. I knew that I wanted to throw down some serious miles. I knew that I wanted bags, stuff like that. So I was like, I want something reliable as I continue to work on. I'll show you my other bike in a second. But as I continue to work on that and do things, I wanted something that I could use daily as well as on long trips. And so I started looking at touring models, test rode a bunch, fell in love with the Road King. And this one specifically, I love the color. I want to paint the bike, and I just can't. I just fell in love with the color, so I think I'll keep it this for as long as I have it. So anyway, that's why I chose it. And initially my plan was setting it up kind of how I had my previous bike set up, which is pretty much apes. If you ever look at videos of me riding with my father, my brother, they both have 18, 20-inch apes on there. So when I first got the bike, the first thing I did was throw 20-inch apes on it. And loved it. I thought it was way fun. It was comfortable. And then I did a trip that was just over 2,000 miles in 3 days. And after I got back, I was like,
"That's a good one.
Got to change the setup."
Yeah, and,
maybe
looking for a little more comfort.
Yeah, and I think I had everything else comfort-wise that made it easy, but just eating wind for that many miles and that many hours on a bike in that short amount of time.
Yeah.
My core was hurting, my back was hurting.
Oh, yeah.
And so I kind of went back to the drawing board, and that brought me to kind of my plan for this bike and how I have it now. So the first thing we'll dive into is switching out those ape hangers, and I went with West Coast 18-inch T-bar or MX T-bars. So they're a solid piece and love them. It's a good stance. I like the look. Obviously they're tall, but in addition to that, it fits me well. Again, I'm a 6'5" guy, and so having something that hits my shoulders allows me to just be comfortable, maneuver well, all of those things. Right after I did that, I ended up going with the Memphis shade fairing. So I got the Road Warrior fairing with the 17-inch windshield because that's the tallest windshield they have. And it honestly works really well for me. So when I ride, I think we talked about this a little bit last week with Lacey's and why we got hers.
Yep.
But for me on the 17-inch, it's still at speed. I can feel it on my forehead if I'm not wearing a helmet. But with a helmet on, it's negligible, and I love it. So if they had a little bit taller windshield, I would get that, but I also understand most riders aren't as tall as I am, and probably mass producing that wouldn't be the most effective. So
maybe one day though.
You never know.
You never know what we might get into.
Maybe I'll put a plug in there. And maybe we'll just push this to them and see if they'll make one a little bit bigger.
Not a bad idea.
For me, I love it. It's a great setup, and that was solid. And then in addition to that, I threw on the Memphis Shades handguards.
Yep.
For me, I ride year round. So most days I commute on my bike, and then I like to do trips wherever I can throughout the year. So for Phoenix, it's 120 degrees in the summertime and I'll still be out riding.
Yes.
But the handguards just keep a little bit of that blow dry effect away. And so it does definitely help when it's hot. And then at the exact same time, you know, we do have crisp mornings here, believe it or not. And so I'll ride till about 30 degrees. And so once it's 30, handguards make a huge difference. Obviously keeping the wind off my hands, just keeping that windshield down.
Yep.
So super happy with the setup and how I did the front of it and loved it.
Yeah. So while we're on the front end over here, what else we got?
So guys, one of my favorite upgrades that I've done to the bike, and I recommend this for everybody, but for me, it's a night and day difference. Literally, it's the light. So I got the Rigid Adapt XP from Clean Moto. And
who are awesome, by the way.
The light itself, I was a little hesitant on. I was looking at Baja, like pretty much everybody else. But the thing that I was questioning was like they have a GPS in there that records your speed, then it will literally adjust the beam to how fast you're going. It'll get wider as you go slower and then narrow up a little bit at speed so you can get a little bit more depth. And guys, it's been a lights out light. Like that's a horrible way to say that. It's been a phenomenal light. So I can't say enough positive things. If you're looking for lights, definitely look at them. So go to Clean Moto and check that out because again, I've been nothing but happy about it.
Yeah, it is bright.
Yeah, literally. Yeah. I feel safe. I can see everything. The other night we were actually riding.
Yeah, I was gonna say it. Yep.
Coming around a blind corner and there's a bunch of javelina in the road, and without having literally this light on, if I had my stock light, any other light, if I was riding a different bike, there's not a chance I would have seen them until we were on them. So that was a huge shout out to them. Love it. Safer. Other people see you. So would highly recommend that.
Yeah. And they were super nice. We had the chance to meet the crew too. Yeah. That was cool. Yeah. Cool dudes. Cool installers. So yeah. All right. And then I know you got grippies up here. Want to talk about those real quick?
Yeah, guys, I rock the ODI Vans grips and they're solid.
Yep. Same.
Yeah.
Twins.
Lacey rocks them on her bike as well and they've been good for us.
Yep. Work well.
I'm going to drop down too. And guys, the crash bar that I have is from Bung King. It's pretty easy to put on, and then in addition to that, I use it as highway peg. So I love it. It's a good setup for me.
It's cute when he rides that way too. He's got his feet up. I'll be like, "Are you cozy over there or what?" But,
yeah, again, my old man bike, right? So I'll throw on cruise control, put my feet up, lean on my bag, and I'm crushing miles, and I can do it forever.
It works well though.
It's been nice.
Yeah, get to stretch the legs out.
Oh, absolutely.
So that works good. All right, what do we got next?
So next, we'll jump down into floorboards. So guys, I went with the Thrashin Supply floorboards. Part of it was just trying to support the company, you know, and honestly, I looked at it and really liked the knurling on them. So for me, riding in all sorts of weather, they're super grippy. So I love that. My feet aren't slipping when it's raining. And I also like that they're not mushy. If you get like the Harley stock floorboards, if you guys have felt like that mush effect, these are solid. And so I like that. I like feeling secure under me. I like feeling the road a little bit. And so yeah, I've been nothing but happy and pleased with those.
Yeah. Good one.
All right, moving back.
Coming back.
Seat, guys, I got the Saddlemen step-up seat. I know it's pretty common, and I love it though. It keeps me like, again, my butt comes right up against here, and I'm locked in my seat. I'm not moving, not messing around, and overall comfort's been fine. I got a bony butt. I'll give you guys a clip of this, and you can literally see where my
you were gonna say it.
Where my butt bones indent in the seat. So
we're gonna have to look for something else.
I'll look for something maybe a little bit more comfortable.
Yeah, he's breaking this poor thing in over here.
But yeah, other than that, like really do love the seat. And then
comfort-wise, you think it's pretty good?
Yeah, honestly, I've been happy with it. It's a little bit on the stiffer side. Again, that's something I like, and so it's been good that way. Not necessarily a bad thing. What about for you? So.
Yeah.
Lacey and I, again, Lacey started riding this year, but before that we were riding together. A lot of places we're going to Cali. So like she's sitting on the back for 6+ hours. Yeah. And so what are your thoughts on back?
I think it's worked really well. I mean, obviously I teased him like the first few months, even riding with him and realizing how much he was wearing that out. I'm like, we gotta look at a new seat or something for you. But I think overall it's comfortable. I mean, you know, taking, I say rest stops or, you know, refill stops and that sort of thing, get to stretch the legs out, but we're both doing that anyway. But I would say by far it's not uncomfortable. I think it's cozy enough and I can scoot up, scoot back. There's plenty of room on there for me. In addition to that, Bubba throwing on the Sissy bar, which I think works well for you when you're solo traveling, whether to and from work, or now that I've got my bike, if we're gonna go camping and take the bikes or whatever, he can, like he said, he throws a bag on there and that gives him something to lean on too. But I've stretched out and leaned back on the Sissy bar when we're doing distance trips, and he'll lean back on me, and I think it works well. So yeah, I think it's comfortable enough as seats go. I don't have any complaints on that. But yeah, so Sissy bar, sorry, I fast forwarded, but yeah.
No, perfect. So yeah, I got the Motherwell detachable tall Sissy bar on this. You guys have been happy with it. You literally, if you have the detachable system, you throw it on.
Yep.
But I like the height. I can throw any bag on and set it on the front side. I can lean against it. Lacey feels more secure than, like, again, a lot of the
yeah, a lot of them are
like a little
low.
backrest.
Yeah, and this one's nice. This one hits me probably mid-shoulder blade, so yeah.
Yeah, so mid-back, and I think it just feels more secure. And I think with that, as a rider, somebody leaning on the back of that, like, it's much easier for me to ride than somebody adjusting all the time or trying to get comfortable. She's pretty locked in.
I'm pretty cozy.
I think that's been a solid, easy thing to throw on.
I agree. Kind of looks cute.
Yeah, aesthetically, I like it too.
Yeah.
I like the tall bar look.
Yeah,
so
works well. All right. What else do we got?
All right, I'll jump into, I got the Jackpot RTX 2-in-1 stainless pipe. Super happy again. We threw this on Lacey's bike. If you saw a video a couple weeks ago, we threw that on her bike mainly because of my positive experience with it. I think it puts out good noise, especially at speed, so people can hear you. They know you're coming.
Yeah,
but
it's sturdy.
not.
I like it. It sounds nice. That was one of the first things, obviously, riding with you or behind you, right? That sort of thing. Sounds good.
Yeah. However you like your pipes, like, kudos to you. If you like to be obnoxious with it, right on. But for me, I like something that just gets the job done and is loud enough for people to hear me, but then also isn't making it deaf for me as I ride. Especially here, if it's hot, I'm not wearing a helmet. I will throw in earplugs, but super loud pipes actually will make it worse.
Out, yeah.
And so I think the wind with the pipes can be a little bit much, but this has been a great setup that way.
Yeah. Sounds great.
One of the reasons I got it too, when I first got the bike, when I was looking at what to do engine-wise, I knew I wanted a little bit more torque, especially getting around the city and commuting. And so I reached out to Fuel Moto. They have it. It's their product, and so they recommended it. And then I also went with Redshift 468 cam, and then just did the PV tuner. Guys, I literally pulled the tune from them, from their own dyno charts and what they were running. So I put that in. And then I've done some auto tuning myself since then, but I haven't had this bike dynoed. But I will throw up a chart real fast. And it shows, I think it's like 115 horsepower and like 130 torque. So for me, again, getting around the city, getting off the line quick and stuff, it's been solid that way. So for me, not too much engine work, but
so far.
Yeah, and I personally think, like,
maybe eventually.
I want this to just be my reliable bike that I can throw down miles on, and I'm not doing anything crazy. So it's been a great setup that way. So highly recommend.
Yeah, it scoots for sure.
If you commute, but if you just need some low end torque, like, that's a decent setup.
Yeah. Love it.
Anything else? I don't think I've done anything else to it.
Bags?
That's it.
Yeah.
Guys, and honestly, the only thing that I really am eyeing right now that I've been looking at is new suspension. I still have stock suspension. Again, I've been very happy with it. When I was test riding, that was one of the things that stood out about the touring models. But I know that there's huge differences. A lot of people like different setups. So if you do have recommendations and why, throw them in the comments for me. Let me know what you guys are running suspension-wise, especially on the touring models. And again, done my own research, but I'd much rather have people who are riding who would like to speak out about, hey, this is a positive experience, or hey, like, this is kind of why I got it.
Or tried and true,
Yeah,
right? Why they like it or didn't like it.
It hasn't panned out, So either way, guys, any
agree.
comments, I'd appreciate it, because that's probably what's next for this guy.
Yeah.
So
that's great. I love it.
Yep, and that's the breakdown, guys. I will, okay. I'm gonna give you a sneak peek of my other bike and how it's sitting right now. And it's got some work to do, but it's like my real love over there. So she's on 2x4s right now. Got a little bit of work to do, but I'll show some clips of her setup and how I set it up. But it's the first bike that I really had my hands in with building. I needed a ton of help, and there's a lot of parts of it that I think if you build, you would be appalled by. But I love her. It's because I put my time and effort into her, and it's actually the bike that I've had since the very beginning. So I've chopped her up, but it's still the same bike. So love that. All right, let's go take a look. So sneak peek into my baby. This is the original bike I had. I chopped obviously the frame. So from stock, she's up,
Over here.
I don't know about, you're good, about 12 and out, or up about 6 and out about 12. Love it. It's a twin cam 88. It's actually initially an 05 wide glide. And she has right now a 10 over front end. And obviously is sitting in the garage and is in pieces, but got some stuff.
Somebody tore her up before we were ready to start everything, but.
Yeah. So yeah, we're gonna start piecing her together, get her back on the road, and yeah, throwing on a jockey shift, and it should be fun. So it'll be a fun bike to get around on. So stay tuned for some of this stuff that's gonna be coming out, because we'll start throwing videos in of us getting her back on the road. But here's what she looks like. Here's the stamps and stuff. I'll throw some pictures in as we're talking, and you can kind of see how she's set up. Also, these are not the bars. These are just off Lacey's bike stock, and I put them on so I could get her around. So they won't actually be set up like this.
Yeah.
But yeah, it is fun. So yeah, guys, stay with us, and we'll show you more of her as she gets better, gets healthy.
Gets healthy. I love that. All right, so before we finish up here, Bubs, what is the lesson for this week? What do we got?
Guys, lesson of the week is make things your own. We went through Lacey's bike last week, went through mine today with you. And guys, there's so many cool things about motorcycles. And everybody rags on people who have like a black Harley touring model in the parking lot. It's the same as everybody else's. If that's what you love it, own it, it's yours. But for me, it's, again, all aspects of life. There's some coolness to being weird, being different, or setting things up how you want to. So there's some aspects of it that I pulled, and I was like, oh man, like I love some of the performance bagger stuff. Am I a good enough rider to do that? Probably not, probably wouldn't use it. So I pulled some of the things that I liked, and then some of the other things I set up for how I ride. Some of the things I've changed and haven't, but it's because it's my bike, and I love it, and it's been perfect for me. So whatever you need to do to your stuff, your life, make it your own.
Yeah. Keep it unique. Keep it custom.
Keep it custom.
Keep it custom. Like that. All right, cool.
Guys, all right, I'll go ahead and link right here Lacey's video from last week if you want to know about how we set up her Softail Slim.
Miss Stormy.
Yeah, Miss Stormy. So we'll link that at the end. And then guys, stay tuned for next week. We have fun stuff coming out. And thanks for tuning in. Comment, like, subscribe, all of it.
All the things. Yeah. Mwah. Good job. It's hot.
Do your thing.